while the Washington Post details an elderly, egotistical president shielded from reality by a slavish coterie of loyalists. Never said that word before. So ailing, mendacious, egotistical, and that's from media outlets that spent 4 years smooching Biden's wrinkly ass. They were so far up his butt, I'm surprised they didn't diagnose.
See how Joe Biden can survive here. I know it's better for Trump if he does. I don't really care. He's not fit. His staff is part of the biggest presidential cover-up in decades. He needs to step down from the presidency, never mind the campaign, for the safety of the country. That's what a...
What do you get when a former president with a knack for gaffes runs into two of the sharpest voices in the media? You get fireworks. Gutfeld and Megyn Kelly are not just throwing jabs at Joe Biden, they are ripping through his legacy with sharp wit, ruthless sarcasm, and pinpoint critique. They cover everything from his slips to his speeches, tearing into every awkward stumble. Bizarre choice and mental glitch that turned his time in office into one long accidental sitcom. This is not a simple roast. It is an all-out dissection of a presidency gone sideways, and you cannot look away.
Biden said he tried to stay out of his dad's administration. It's true, he claimed he was just living at the White House because he wanted to
see how Joe Biden can survive here. I know it's better for Trump if he does. I don't really care. He's not fit. His staff is part of the biggest presidential cover-up in decades. He needs to step down from the presidency, never mind the campaign, for the safety of the country. That's...
He wrapped up his term with more talk of dessert than diplomacy, more spills than strategy. Joe Biden's presidency did not feel like a chapter in history.
Ow.
It felt like a blooper reel stretched over for long years. Gutfeld and Kelly are not interested. In analysis, they are cracking the whole thing open like a rotten egg and letting the mess speak for itself.
He's without question the worst president in my lifetime, and that is the proof. Because we've talked about this. His solution for inflation is explaining what inflation is. Here's the thing about inflation. Food prices go up. And what we're going to try to do, and I think this is going to work, is maybe get the prices, you can get the prices to go down. Unless it's gas, because we don't want you to use gas. The worst part about this whole thing is that his presidency is ripe for mockery and ridicule and even gentle humor if you like him. I mean, just Hunter Biden alone, in the recent...
If you are enjoying this video, be sure to subscribe and tap the bell icon. Now let us kick things off with a moment etched in presidential history, losing a showdown. With a parked bicycle, Biden's faceplant became the perfect symbol for his time. In office, strong start lost direction, and a painful ending. Gutfeld could not watch without imagining cartoon sound effects. He joked that gravity had it out. For the guy, his balance was so off, even the polls were worried.
Found work since they canceled Portlandia. But that was Jill Biden's so-called work husband, which is like being her regular husband, except with more solid food and less diarrhea. Anthony Brunel was Jill's chief of staff and an assistant to Joe Biden, which is pretty amazing, given that having just...
Megyn Kelly took that fall and ran with it, asking why the bike did not collapse first out of sheer shame. She said the footage looked like a deleted scene from an old folks' home. Sports Day Secret Service agents seemed less concerned with threats and more focused on whether Biden could navigate stairs, a sandbag, or just his own feet.
Don't have respect for the other side. Joe Biden would never sit for an interview with me, same as Hillary Clinton, as she was out there saying I was a terrific journalist because I had this contentious exchange with Trump. Never once sat with me, never agreed, even when the left was loving me, because she quite literally did not have the balls, neither physically nor theoretically, nor in no way. So anyway, there's my little rant about our weak politicians.
Then there were the speeches, the long, strange monologues that made people miss elevator music. Gutfeld once said listening to Biden was like trying to build IKEA. Furniture blindfolded in a thunderstorm while bees chased you, his mind would boot up like a dusty old computer, lots of clicks, blinking lights, and no clear result.
So obviously they're hiding something. Like, why would Joe never take any interviews? Who was behind the last-minute pardons? Who made the terrible decisions, the kind that turned a career moderate Bolshevik? And why was his schedule emptier than a swimming pool near a burrito truck? Meanwhile, Hunter has his own beef, saying the Dems only lost because lost to Trump because they weren't loyal to his father, the leader of.
Then came the whispers nothing screams strength, like leaning into a mic to murmur, like your job depends on it. Kelly likened it to a retired ghost tour guide trying to stay in the game. Biden would pause dramatically, then whisper, like he was auditioning. For a haunted house, leadership never sounded so eerie, but his troubles with speech were only the beginning. He redefined the word confused. Like the moment he turned to shake hands with thin air, Greg called it the political version of chasing butterflies. A handshake with a ghost that captured a term where fantasy often replaced facts. Kelly joked the ghost handshake got more airtime. Then his plans, he would wander off stage like a grandpa in a mall looking for snacks. Then pop back up as if nothing had happened. World leaders looked baffled. Greg nailed it. They were not meeting with him. They were babysitting.
Right, wipe out his debt. We'd be able to help make sure that all those things we need to do, child care, elder care, making sure that we continue to strengthen our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID. With dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
Oh my God.
Let us not act like this was a solo act. Biden needed more handlers than an NFL quarterback. Each public appearance felt like a rescue mission on live TV. Kelly said his staffers looked more like emotional therapy humans, always steering, nudging, reminding, and probably praying his domestic strategy, if you could call. If that was just as chaotic if his brain was a computer, half the tabs were frozen, and the rest were playing hold music, his economic ideas. Sounded like rejected TED Talks from someone selling crystals in a parking lot. Inflation took off wallets. Screamed, and Biden told everyone it was just a phase. Gutfeld said it was like putting out a house fire with scented candles. Prices jumped like fireworks, and Biden tried to spin it as patriotic economic celebration.
Exchange with Representative Jason Crow, Democrat from Colorado, who received a Bronze Star as an Army Ranger fighting for us in Iraq. In a video of the Zoom that I was able to view, writes the reporter, you can hear Biden chastising Crow, who asked about the importance of national security to voters. First of all, I think you're dead wrong on national security, the president says. I put NATO together. Name me a foreign leader who thinks I'm not the most effective leader in the world on foreign policy. Tell me who the hell that is. Tell me who put NATO back together. Tell me who enlarged NATO. Tell me who did the Pacific Basin. Tell me who did something that you've never done with.
Kelly dismantled his Build Back Better plan, calling it the equivalent of rebuilding a burned house with a pricier, uglier tent. Biden spent money like he hacked Monopoly, only to realize inflation does not follow board game rules while people skipped. Mealsy congratulated himself for not skipping words. Gas prices became the ultimate villain. Biden waged war on pipelines, then sent thank you notes to foreign dictators. Gutfeld said his energy policy was like canceling an Uber and hoping a horse shows up. Kelly laughed at how he celebrated a 2-cent drop in gas like he invented it. Greg said the whole thing felt like a raccoon holding a welcome sign. People crossed borders in record numbers while Biden crossed his fingers. When asked about it, he sounded like someone trying to teach math after 5 cocktails.
The rare occasions you get to see him now, like at a cabinet meeting for the first time in a couple of years, that he let his wife run. Now we see him over the weekend on Saturday. There's a press conference. We've got this group called the Quad. We're having a Quad summit. This is the group that's supposed to take on the world challenges like the rise of the Chinese. It's Japan, Australia, India, and the United States. And he gets up there and he's supposed to be introducing Prime Minister Modi of India, obviously forgets, and here's what happened.
Now, who am I introducing next?
Greg unleashed everything on this one, tearing into how Biden acted like the border crisis was a camera trick. Cities were drowning in chaos. Now the administration responded with buzzwords, committees, and nonsense. Residents near the border felt like they were stuck in a reality show called Everything Falling Apart, and then came the Afghanistan exit. What? Biden claimed as his foreign policy win turned into a full-scale collapse. So bad, Even Hollywood would reject the script Gutfeld compared. It too, leaving a party but forgetting your kids, your keys, your pants, and your pride the military left before civilians' allies were. Abandoned, and billions in gear got handed over like party favors. Kelly called it the costliest donation ever. Taliban fighters rode American trucks like it was. Christmas morning, and Biden declared it a win. The kind of win where spilling coffee in your lap counts as creative warmth. His speech afterward, a blend of confusion, dodging, and accidental stand-up comedy.
So Joe Biden's longtime aide was called to testify on Joe's decline. Well, I hope someone asked him if President Joe Biden was fit to exercise the duties of the president.
Was President Joe Biden fit to exercise the duties of the president?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights under the Constitution.
Blame became his favorite activity, inflation. That was the gas station's fault, the border issue that was on Congress or Santa Claus. Greg joked that Biden blamed everyone from Republicans to vegetables. Megyn found the humor in his vaccine routine. First strict rules, then soft guidelines, then jazz hands. All while shouting science like it was a magic spell that changed meaning with every new poll. Biden would stare blankly when asked basic questions like he was trying to find his old Buick. The silences stretched, the answers wandered, and sometimes his brain just stopped mid-sentence.
This book tells the whole story. Because even as the media is just now admitting this scandal was real, we know they're complicit. They took their own sweet time addressing the greatest fraud in presidential history, waiting till now, of course, to spill the beans. Oh, sure, the media could have made an honest mistake, like when they said Hunter's laptop was fake, or the Fine People hoax was real, or that Tim Walz has a...
Megyn pointed out how his responses often started in English and ended in interpretive dance. His bond with the teleprompter was a tragic drama with surprise stage directions. He once read the cue out loud, then paused mid-speech like he forgot who he was supposed to be. It was theater, but more like a bad dress rehearsal where the lead actor thinks the show has not started. And then Hunter, the never-ending scandal. Greg tore into the laptop story with relentless sarcasm, shady emails, bizarre art deals, weird overseas connections. It felt like a crime series for toddlers and Joe. He played clueless dad perfectly. Never asked, never heard. Never knew. He brushed off questions about Hunter like someone asking him to fix the Wi-Fi, even walking. Across a room became a mystery. Megyn joked that watching Biden move was like a game of where is he headed now? One moment waving at no one, the next walking into a broom closet. It got so strange they built emergency exits just to keep him from disappearing on live TV.
Mental focus is.
Oh, it's focused. I haven't, look, I have trouble even saying to myself my own head the number of years. I no more think of myself as being as old as I am than fly. I mean, it's just not, I haven't observed anything in terms of, there's not things I don't do now that I did before, whether it's physical.
Greg said it was like his inner compass pointed straight to embarrassment, and the gaffes never stopped calling the wrong person. The wrong name in the wrong place on the wrong day. That was classic Biden. He did not just fumble, he made up new words. That left language experts baffled, but through it all, he stayed confident beyond belief. Greg joked the only one with more faith in Biden than Biden was his reflection in the microwave. He could fall flat, forget the year, and still insist everything was going great. Megyn summed it up with the Biden paradox, a presidency that felt both like too much and not enough. Nothing got better, and everything somehow got worse for years that felt like an entire generation, and when it finally ended, the country did not cheer. It just let out a collective sigh, like someone paused the world's most uncomfortable dinner party.
Biden used the White House Correspondents' Dinner to show the world he's not too old to be president. But he did show them he's too old to eat dinner. Ozzy Osbourne wants to perform again, saying, "I'd like to do a effing gig without falling over." Same, said one old man. Yeah. An ice cream shop worker in Minnesota was fired for accepting a $100 tip because the shop's owner says some elderly customers have dementia. Gee, I wonder which customer tipped her.
And now he pops up every now and then for speeches that feel like someone hit restart halfway through. Greg and Megyn are not finished the jokes keep. Writing themselves even though the term is over, then came the victory laps. Biden takes the stage. Like he personally fixed the planet and invented science, ignoring the fact that most of the problems started under his watch. Greg says watching him gloat is like seeing an arsonist return to admire the fire while claiming he is the firefighter. Megyn jokes the applause is really just relief that he made it through a sentence without calling a foreign leader. Mom, meanwhile. Jill is blinking in Morse code, silently begging someone to shut it down, but Biden believes the crowd wants more, as if the country is lining up for a sequel to a film it barely survived the first time, and Greg and Megyn, they are ready, popcorn in hand, front row seats for whatever happens next.